Oh man, guys, today's gonna be a good one. It looks like Nintendo Hong Kong and Nintendo Japan have shared some upcoming chapters for the new DLC. Between this and some theories that I've found while researching around different websites, I'm gonna share a lot of potential spoilers. So, alright, you had your chance. Now, let's jump right into it. It looks like Fell's Xenologue will have about 6 chapters. In this time frame, Alir, Nil, and Nell need to collect 7 bracelets. I'm going to break them down chapter by chapter. In chapter 1, Alir finds himself called into another dimension, where he meets the Dragon Twins. The setting is very familiar. You will likely recognize it as Lythos Castle. Only in this world, it's a ruin. Enemies come just as in the main story, only this time, they're stealing bracelets rather than rings. This is likely the chapter where you'll meet Fogado, as we saw in the trailer. And here, you will realize that characters in this world are not who they seem. This is not your Fogado, and fighting familiar faces like this will quickly become a theme throughout this DLC. The completion of this chapter gains you your first bracelet. It should be satisfying to see Tiki freed from her dark state. Units are going to be very limited in this chapter. You have 5 slots, and 3 of them are already mandatory between Alir, Nil, and Nell. Not to worry though, in future chapters you're going to have a lot more slots. Chapter 2 is still fairly vague. Your setting will be in Firene Castle, but an attack will quickly force you outside, where you will be forced to face an army led by 2 familiar faces, Elfred and Celine. You meet Celestia in this chapter as well, and she will benefit you a lot in the battle. Your enemies won't be easy, and Alfred actually has a pairing with Hector that makes him a threat and a half. Just a cool side note, the Fell Xenologue map is actually just Elios, mirrored right down the middle. Anyway, you have 8 unit slots for this chapter, but 4 are mandatory. Your 3 units and Celestia. You're left with 4 slots, but realistically, since we all want to see that special dialogue, you're likely going to want to put Alfred and Celine in the battle. Fill those last spots well. Chapter 3 finds our heroes at the Grand Crossing in Brodia. An evil Diamond will appear, threatening to kidnap Nell and Nil. Obviously, we're here to ensure that doesn't happen. Gregory, who is an alternate reality Gris basically, now joins your team and we'll have to fight off Elchrist and Diamant. Make sure you bring the right units for those special dialogues. Things are going to start heating up in chapter 4. You already have a fantastic team set up, using characters, or at least alternate characters, that you never got a chance to in the main game. This chapter, though, has us facing 2 armies, Eluzia and Solm. Solm is yellow on this map, so if you remember the Battle of the Lion and the Eagle from 3 Houses, I imagine that it will play out similarly to that, which is actually really rare in Fire Emblem and should be a ton of fun. Data miners have indicated that Dark Soren and Camilla will both appear, which makes sense as their support conversations indicated that they are from Eluzia and Solm. We also get Madeline and Mauvier in this chapter, which rounds off our 4 wings. By chapter 5, our crew will find themselves in Solm, at some ruins. Most of the enemies at this point are going to be corrupted, but right on theme, we'll be fighting some of our own reflections again. This time, it's going to be Hortensia and good old Fogado for the 2nd time. In this chapter, we see an axe wielder synced with Dark Chrome. He's got 2 revival stones as well. I mean, it's looking a whole lot like Nil to me. And that would support the idea that Nil turns evil. This was already theorized because of his Revanche axe. The final chapter will be our opportunity to fight the wielder of the 7 bracelets. There are a lot of similarities here to the final chapter that we had with Sombron. There's instant death traps and some version of a laser beam to inflict high damage to specified tiles. But here's the question, who's the final boss? Well, I doubted it for a long time, but now I'm kind of forced to admit it. It looks a whole lot like it's going to be Nil. Data miners found an upgraded class for Nil, mixed with Sombron's Fell Dragon animations. And if that isn't proof enough, I don't know how to pronounce it, is the file name for one of this character's attacks, and it translates directly to nil. One final point that I actually find quite compelling is that the Oxford Dictionary defines nil as 0, especially as a score in certain games. Nil, 0. 0 emblem? Maybe it's a stretch, but hey, you guys tell me in the comments. And that's a wrap. Those are all the chapters. When all is said and done, you will have 3 wings plus Nell to come back with you to the main game. 3 wings may have left you with some questions, but I'll answer that in the next video. That's all I've got for now. Thanks for watching another one, and for all the support. I'm trying to get you all the new DLC news as soon as possible, so if you want to stay up to date, hit that subscribe button. I love theorizing about this game, so if you guys have any ideas, or you feel that I missed something, please let me know in the comments. That's all for now. You've been awesome, and I will see you in the next video.